Deep in the deserts of Sindh, Pakistan, lies one of the world's largest graveyards. But beneath its million of graves are whispers of something far older and far more terrifying than death. Makli graveyard near the ancient city of Thatta is over 600 years old and spans more than 10 square kilometers. It holds over a million graves, kings, saints, warriors, and something else. According to local Sufi, Makli is not just a resting place for the dead, it's a spiritual prison, a place where dangerous supernatural beings of smokeless fire were sealed in specific graves, never meant to be opened. A bearded elder whispered to a traveler, "These graves, some don't belong to humans. Don't walk near them after sunset." Villagers speak of graves that are never warm, where the wind moves in the wrong direction, and where perfume like scents suddenly appear, though no one is around. They say these are not graves, they are cells, and what lies beneath them is still alive. In 2012, a small documentary team from Karachi attempted to film inside Makli. After dark, their footage became corrupted. Microphones picked up faint whispers, and the scent of flowers filled their van. They say one of them still refuses to sleep alone. They say one of them still refuses to sleep alone. Some say that breaking the cells, the taweez or Quranic inscriptions over these tombs releases what was once contained. A jinn doesn't need to be free, it just needs a new vessel. Makli may be old, but its darkest secrets are not forgotten. Some places are not just haunted, they are holding something back. Soft whisper fades, don't look back. The Makli graveyard is real. The legends are real to those who live near it, and maybe that's enough to keep them alive. I have never told this story publicly, and to be honest, I'm not even sure if I should. But what happened changed our lives forever. It was the summer after I had completed my higher studies in the Bangkok. Me and my two closest friends, Karan and Ajay, had just wrapped up college. We were busy applying for internships when Ajay got selected by a major news channel as a research internee. His first assignment? A documentary on the Naga sadhus, the ash covered, trance living ascets said to possess supernatural powers, living in isolation far from civilization. When Ajay shared the news, Karan and I were thrilled. Our trip to India sounded perfect, a break we all needed. We could help him out and explore a bit of the country too. But from the moment we arrived, something felt wrong. We started asking around rickshaw drivers, vendors, even monks in the temples. But every time we brought up Naga sadhus, people either felt silent, looked away, and walked off. We were digging into something we were not supposed to. Eventually, through whispers, we were told about an isolated hill region in Himachal, a place where once in a while Naga sadhus were seen during rituals near an ancient cremation ground beside a hidden lake. They said the place was avoided, that no one dared to go near it, but we were young and arrogant. We reached the lake by boat. It was the only way in. Dense forest surrounded the water on all sides and as we stepped onto the misty shore, an eerie silence hung heavy, broken only by the creaking of trees and the occasional splash in the water. Ajay led with the flashlight. Karan followed close behind. I took the rear, my gut twisting with every step. And then Ajay froze. His light caught a hunched figure sitting at the edge of the cremation ground facing away from us. It was doing something, its hands moving rapidly, almost like it was eating. We stood frozen. Then Ajay suddenly screamed, "Run!" No explanation, no hesitation. We ran through the dark like hunted animals, crashing through branches, lungs burning. We reached the boat and pushed off with shaking hand, rowing across the water. Back at the hostel, Ajay collapsed, high fever delirium. For 7 days he couldn't eat or sleep, just mumbled nonsense, eyes wide open like he was still stuck in the moment. When the finally when he finally regained enough strength to talk, he told us the truth. It was not just eating something, it was devouring a human body, tearing raw flesh with its teeth. And when it turned slightly, I saw its eyes. They were not human, they were hollow, hungry, endless. But the real horror began when we left. We flew back to Bangkok. We tried to forget, but the lake, the figure, it followed us. Ajay was never the same. He started talking to someone who was not there. A girl, he claimed. She appeared in his room at night. Pale skin, long black hair, and empty black eyes. He said she whispered to him, "You brought me out, now take me back." We thought it was the trauma. Got him help, but he kept getting worse, thinner, weaker, paranoid. Until one night he simply stopped breathing. The doctors called it severe cardiac arrest caused by an unknown infection, but we know he was taken. 3 months later, Karan was hit by a speeding truck in a broad daylight. Both his legs were crushed. He survived, but he swears he saw a girl in a white dress standing on the road a second before the truck appeared, straight right at him. Now it's me. At night, I heard chanting in my apartment. Lights flickered, mirror fogs up from the inside. Last week, I woke up to find wet footprints on my floor, leading from my bed to the mirror and back again. I have not looked into the mirror since. They say the Naga sadhus were connected to ancient powers. They don't just whisper God, they guard the barrier between worlds. And maybe we walked in at a time when the barrier was open. Maybe that something we saw was not a sadhu at all, but something that wears the skin of ascetics, something insane, something starving. And maybe we didn't just see it, maybe it saw us too. Some neighbors never say hello, but what if they never leave either? I moved to Maplewood, New Jersey in the fall of 2023. I was starting over after our divorce and found a cheap apartment in an old 1960s brick building. Quiet, small, perfect for a fresh start. I was given apartment 6A, right across from 6B, which the landlord said was vacant. But the very first night I heard shuffling sounds from 6B. Heavy footsteps, slow breathing, the kind that presses against your walls like someone standing inches away. I brushed it off. Old buildings make noise, right? Until the next morning, I found a sticky note on my door that said, "He doesn't like the lights on after midnight." I laughed it off, probably a prank. But that night, I kept the lights on purpose. At 12 o'clock, my hallway light flickered and then went out. I had a knock, not from my front door, but from inside my bedroom closet. Things got deeper. I asked my neighbor from fifth floor if anyone had moved into 6B. She frowned and said, "Honey, 6B has been locked since 1989. No one's lived there since the man who burned himself alive inside it." I thought she was messing with me until I checked the door of 6B myself that night. It was ice cold to the touch. It was ice cold to the touch and smelled like burnt plastic and old meat. I looked through the peephole, pure darkness. But as I was turning away, I saw an eye open in the darkness behind the peephole. Not on it, behind it. The truth behind 6B is that a man dies in suspected ritual suicide. Apartment catches fire from the inside. No source of ignition found. Last words crashed into the wall. I will still be there when the lights go out. That night, I packed my bags. I couldn't sleep anymore. The air felt thick. At 6B, the door was wide open. No light inside, no sound. But when I stepped past it to leave the building, I heard something whispered behind me. When I stepped past it to leave the building, I heard something whispered behind me. Leave the lights on now. I like to see who I'm following. Some apartments never truly empty. Some neighbors never truly die. And sometimes you are not alone, even when you think you are. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing you new spine chilling tales every weekend. Leave a sweet comment below, and if you have a personal experience or a horror story you would like to share, check out the description. You will find an email. You can send us your story on that email. See you in the next story.